What's going on, everyone? Your mom's favorite YouTuber, KKS here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be making my Western Conference, or wow, I forgot it. My brain. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to edit that out. Doing this in one take. Today, I'm going to be giving my NBA Western Conference All-Star tier list. So if you guys haven't already, please check out my Eastern Conference tier list. I did the same kind of thing, but with the Eastern Conference, obviously. So be sure to check that out as well after this video, before this video, whatever you want. But yeah, we're going to do the Western Conference. And I've got five tiers. We're going starters, so I'm going to have five starters. Borderline starters, reserves. Just somebody who I think deserves to be a starter, but just weren't as good as the other five guys. Reserves are players that I think will fill out the rest of the team. So like five players here maybe. And then possible injury replacements are just the people who like deserve to be an all-star, but just weren't a top 12 player in their conference. And maybe next year is just notable players who either haven't been having great years or have had good years, but not great enough for the All-Star game. So yeah, before we start, I just want to ask you guys to please subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and it's easy, quick, and free for you guys. So please make sure you do that. And let's get to it. So first we have Devin Booker. Um, I don't think he's a starter. I don't think he's a borderline starter, but he's definitely a reserve. So we're gonna put him in under reserve. Obviously, he's been the Suns' best player, and the Suns are, I believe, the 5 or 4 seed right now. I don't remember, but they're on a great streak right now. So Devin Booker has been a big part of that, and he's going to be a reserve. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has also had a great season, but he's going to be a starter. I remember earlier he was having a 50, 40, 90 season. I'm not sure if he still is. I haven't checked up on his stats, but he's definitely playing like a all-star starter. So he's going to be one of our five starters. DeMar DeRozan. This one's a tough one because he definitely deserves to be an all-star, but the problem is he's underrated, and I'm not sure if people are going like the media and the players. No, who's the bench is I think picked up by the coaches. I'm not even sure how it goes. I don't know. The All-Star game is the selection process is not the way it should be, but I don't know if DeMar's gonna. I'm gonna put him in reserve for now. We might shift that later, but we'll see. Luka Doncic. Um, he's a borderline starter for me. Simply because I know the leagues, I know they're gonna vote for LeBron to be a starter. I know they're gonna vote for Curry. And I know Kawhi and Jokic are gonna be there. So it's really between him and Dame has just had a better season than Luka. And their team's records show that. But Luka deserves to be a starter. It's just that he's not been better than Lillard. So yeah, Luka is a borderline starter, um, but ultimately will be a reserve. Paul George, he's firmly a reserve. I will put him ahead of DeRozan. Him and Book, it's tough. But if I'm being honest, I haven't watched enough games from either one to know. The Clippers games that I have watched, Paul George hasn't played in. And I've only watched like 2 or 3 Suns games all season, so I'm just gonna put them side by side. Um, just yeah, the order between them two doesn't matter. Next Zion, he's definitely a reserve, and I'm putting him ahead of Book and Paul George. Um, I know Zion comes with a lot of hype, and with him being who he is and everything, but I mean he's lived up to the hype so far. Last season, obviously, he didn't play much, so People were considering him for the rookie of the year when he really should not have even been in the discussion because Jaw was so much better. Well, not so much better, but he had a much bigger sample size anyway. But yeah, this year he's lived up to the hype. Great season. And the Pelicans' record is not his fault. So Zion's a reserve. Um, the only reason he's not a borderline starter reserve is because I don't think he's on Kawhi or Jokic's level as a big man. So he's gonna be the reserve. He might even be the top reserve. We'll see. Next we got Rudy Gobert. Yeah, his face is cut off, but Rudy Gobert is also a tough one. I'm gonna put him with DeRozan. I don't know if I want to put him ahead or behind. I don't know. I'm gonna leave him there, but they will both be in the discussion for possible injury replacement if this section gets too full. Next, Damian Lillard. He's a starter. I mean, he's in the MVP conversation as of now. I think right now the main five guys in the MVP conversation are LeBron, Joel, Jokic, Dame, and Curry. That was not in order, by the way. Don't get mad at me. But those are the five immediate favorites, front runners. And yeah, Dame's one of them, so he's gonna be a starter. Next up, Ja Morant. This one's another tough one. I'm not. He's not at DeRozan, so I'm gonna put him here. Possible injury replacement. Simply because he's had a great season, but he also missed like half of the season so far because of his ankle injury. So I'm gonna put him there. He may go in maybe next year, but for now I'll put him here. Now next, Jordan Clarkson. This is another tough one. Um, Again, I'm gonna put him at possible injury replacement. I would put him behind Jaw, so he may end up coming down to maybe next year if someone like Rudy or DeRozan drops. But Clarkson, I mean, the fact that we're even talking about him being an all-star as a sixth man is just a testament to how great his season has been. And I think as of now, he's the front runner for the Sixth Man of the Year award. And if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out my Sixth Man of the Year prediction award at the beginning of the season. And I had Jordan Clarkson as my dark horse, and look at where he is now. So yeah, next up we've got John Wall. He's a maybe next year. I mean, he has played better than I thought he would coming off of his multitude of injuries, but he's a maybe next year. I don't think he's at the level of Clarkson, Ja, DeRozan, or any of those guys. Same with Ingram. He's a maybe next year. He was an all-star last year because he deserved it and everything, but this year he hasn't been bad per se, but he hasn't been an all-star. You know what I mean? So no hate to Bi, but maybe next year. That's a legitimate question. Maybe next year he can be an all-star. Same with Jamal. I mean, consistency is an issue with him. I mean, we saw that he can ball. He just had his game where he scored 50 points with not a single free throw attempted. And we've never seen anything like that before. Um, and so it's just a matter of him being consistent. And he's still a great player, and I'd still want him on my team because come playoff time, he's gonna play like the star player that that he sometimes flashes. And so regular season, he's gonna have these mediocre performances sprinkled in, but I'm okay with that as long as he performs in the playoffs. But for the All Star game, he's a maybe next year. Now this man, Nikola Jokic, he's a starter for sure. Dude has been incredible. I mean, he's been able to overcome Jamal Murray's inconsistency and keep the Nuggets in the playoff discussion. Um, and he's a contender for MVP. I think he's first, maybe second. If I had to give an order right now, I'd go Joel and Jokic are one and two. It's kind of hard to decide. I'd probably go Embiid because his team is top of the Eastern Conference. at the time I'm recording this video. And Jokic is like, I think, the 8th seed or something. So Embiid gets the slight edge, but Jokic would be second. And yeah, so he's going to be a starter. Next up, Donovan Mitchell. Let's see. He's a reserve, although there's a debate between him and borderline starter reserve. I love Donovan Mitchell. Matter of fact, screw it. I'm putting him borderline starter reserve. You guys may not like it, but I love Donovan Mitchell. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. And it's simply because whenever you need the guy to make a shot, he will make it for you. He's one of the clutchest players in the league. Not many people have really recognized that yet, but I'm pretty sure soon he will. And for now, I'm going to put him as a borderline starter reserve. Obviously, not as good as Curry or Dame yet, but he's getting there. And he's a much better defender than both of those guys as well. So he's a borderline starter reserve for me behind Luca. Next up, we have Curry. Uh, Though this seems to be a picture of Seth Curry, his brother. Seth Curry is a starter this year. Yeah, Seth Curry has been balling for the Warriors. MVP discussion and everything. Nah, jokes aside, Steph Curry deserves it. I mean, y'all can say whatever you want between Steph and Dame, who's better. I mean, just appreciate that we get to watch them both play. They're both spectacular, both the two best point guards in the league. And yeah, both are going to be starters. CJ McCollum. Oh man. CJ was honestly playing better than Lillard at the start of the year. But he got injured, so he's a maybe next year. Although I'm gonna put him above Jamal and Bi, because he was playing at a definite All-Star, um, at an All-Star level before he got hurt. But again, he's only played I think 10, 11, 12 games this season, and that's just not enough to get you into the All-Star game. Jiren Fox, I mean, he's also a maybe next year. Where exactly would I put him here? Definitely behind CJ with Jamal. Okay, I'm gonna put him here. But I mean, Fox is a great player, but he hasn't quite taken that next step to become an all-star. And becoming an all-star in the West as a guard is incredibly difficult. I mean, just look at some of these guys up here: C.J. McCollum, John Morant, Jordan Clarkson decided to go off this year. I guess you could count DeRozan as a shooting guard or small forward. But we've got Donovan Mitchell here, Luca here, Curry and Lillard here. We got Chris Paul down here, so it's tough, obviously, in the West, and hopefully Fox can take that next step. Excuse me. I love Fox. I want to see him as an all-star, but he's just not quite there yet. Um, LeBron, all-star. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Cliff Paul. Cliff Paul. Now this one's also tough because he's in this Rudy Gobert, Demar Derozan category. I'll put him here for now, and we'll deal with that after we get this. Cat is a maybe next year. He's missed too much time due to injury, way too much time due to injury and Corona. Obviously. Hopefully he's doing well from a mental standpoint, and he can start to show some of his baller talent towards the end of the year. So we've got this set up. Now we have five starters and two borderline reserves, so that's seven. We go Zion 8, Book 9, Paul George 10, Gobert 11, DeRozan 12, Chris Paul 13. Okay, so we got to send one of these guys down here. Now, the question is, do we do Gobert, DeRozan, or Chris Paul? Because I think Paul George, Book, and Zion are safe. Um, and it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to keep Gobert simply because there's no other center in this tier list. So Gobert's going to stay. Even though I'd probably send him down if it came to it. But there's no other center other than Jokic in this lineup. And also, Kawhi is not a true power forward. Zion is the only other power forward, so they need a big, and Gobert's going to be the guy. So it's between DeRozan and Chris Paul, and I hate to do it to either one of them because they both truly deserve it. DeRozan gets disrespected way too much. Um, Chris Paul, obviously, he's a big part of why the Suns are as good as they are now. Although DeRozan has the Spurs in the playoffs, who I honestly didn't think would be that good. Um, so what I think is gonna happen is DeRozan's gonna be down here. But what I would do is I would put DeRozan up here and put Chris Paul as the number one injury replacement. Um, and it's just unfortunate to see because Chris Paul deserves it, but I I can't put him over any one of these guys, honestly. So who knows? All of these guys ahead of him, I'm pretty sure are healthy right now. Oh, except Paul George. Paul George has that toe injury, so we'll see if he plays in the All Star game. I think he will. DeRozan has a. I'm pretty sure he had a. Oh, the Spurs are having a problem with COVID and stuff. So who knows? I mean, what could happen here? Maybe Chris Paul becomes a reserve in replacing one of these guys, but yeah, I didn't put guys who are gonna be injured for the All Star game like Anthony Davis. He's out for like a month, I believe. Same with D'Angelo Russell. He's also gonna miss the All Star game, so I didn't put either one of these guys here. But realistically, Anthony Davis hasn't honestly been playing like an All Star. He might have still been a reserve, but he wasn't playing to his standards. And D'Lo, would he have been an all-star over Chris Paul, DeRozan? Maybe not, but I don't know. I didn't want to complicate things further with adding injured players who aren't even going to be there, so I left them out. But here it is, my Western Conference tier list. I don't think I forgot anybody, did I? I couldn't have. No, I should be fine. If I did forget someone, but I might have forgotten a big man somewhere. Did I? No, I think I'm fine. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Um, again, please give a like, please subscribe. If you agree, like, even if you disagree, please dislike. Um, so I know. And if you want to dislike though, let me know in the comments what you disagree with, and we can have a talk there. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.